Sunday, 5/31/2020. Lots of things. I got several just notes, talking points. I was wanting to do all kinds of different videos. I was debating on sitting here for several hours, but I just decided to come to you like this. Not a good morning, not a good weekend, not a good week in general for America. And I don't know where we're getting, because what matters the most to us is the people we work with, the people we live next to, the people we talk to every day at work or the grocery store, your friends, your family. We don't really deal with the politicians other than seeing them on TV and getting upset and bent out of shape and screaming about justice not happening yet. All of it, all right, I get it. But we got to be logical. The media has control still, we know that. How do you know that, Mike? How do you know? Well, think about it. From the minute Trump got in, we had the narrative of Trump Russia, Trump Russia. Real quick, I'm Michael. If you're new, make sure you're subscribed to this. You don't want to miss it. Share this video. We've been heavily shadow banned. We've been demonetized at the beginning of the Corona Lyme virus, when that kicked off, as people were losing their jobs and resorting to being at home to do exactly what we've been doing here for 3 years. The hit comes saying, "Oh, your content is dangerous." They consider it dangerous. Not to allow the truth or debate or just raw facts to come out, it's dangerous. So Trump, Russia, Russia. Then it was Trump Stormy Daniels. Then it was Trump taxes. Then it was a multitude, right? Ukraine phone call. And then impeachment. Then impeachment. And then before impeachment can even get over, because that wasn't going to work, the pandemic hits. And as the pandemic hits and the media brings that in, then declass and truth starts coming out on everything else that they've done wrong and lied about. And we don't have time, the media says, to go back and fix the record, tell all the audience that we're wrong. We're in the middle of a pandemic now, folks, but they're driving that. So they can't go back in time and fix anything. They're just going to move on. Now that the pandemic's coming out, they got everyone to wear masks. And the facts are coming out about the testing. The CDC releases huge news, yet nothing can be back. Now we're in a race war. We don't got time to go back to the pandemic wrong. So they're controlling it still. And now what's different about any other time, not really, but protesters were starting to wear masks, and then they started having cities making rules against that. But now this time, since we're under a pandemic with masks, you're allowed to protest with your mask. Everyone's almost hidden. Unbelievable, the orchestration. No time to correct the record because we're on to the next damn thing that we're in the middle of making up. I thought we all decided at 9/11 we had terrorists. I'll just go with official narratives on everything. Even though I might not believe it, that's what all you believe, so let's play into that. 9/11 terrorists slammed planes into buildings and took them down. They burned down, they blew up, then they burned, whatever, fires for a month. I thought we all agreed that was wrong. Timothy McVeigh's narrative story. A white-bread, home-brewed terrorist that was upset with the government and injustices, so he blew up the Alpha P Murrah building in Oklahoma City. Nobody came to rally for him. He was deemed a terrorist and sentenced to life and then death. I thought we all agreed that was wrong. We now have more people hurt, injured, people robbing pawn stores, pawn store owners shooting, killing. So we've already lost more than the initial cause. I don't agree that this was wrong. Injustice, there's lots of it going on. I don't typically look at things like other people, but I see wrong for wrong and right for right. I don't label all the other things. That's what other people do. That's where they want you at. So stop and be logical for a minute. So if 9/11 terrorists burned down, blew up a building, now we have Americans doing that dirt all on their own without, you know, possibly being terrorists themselves without even realizing it because they think they're doing something right. But yet I'm all for protest. I'm all for rally. I just went to the Virginia rally with some other people, buddies of mine. We went down and to rally, not just for our, but your Second Amendment. We didn't go down there and pop off guns, start shooting. That would have been different. I'm all for protesting. I'm all for strikes. I'm all for causes. You have that right. But the minute you strike a match, flip a car over, punch out a window, hit another person because of their opposing view, you've turned it to something else, you yourself. Now it's hard. We're just getting the news and the fake propaganda. Trump's talking about buses bringing in 80% of the protesters in certain cities aren't even from that city. You have a small group from that own city wanting to come out and peaceful, but then you have the buses coming in. People don't have any dog in the race in that city. They punch a window out, they start a fire, they get back on the bus. It's like they're on a 20-city tour with the Soros bus. And their 20-city tour is to create fires, havoc, chaos in all the cities. And while that's brewing up, they're already on the bus going to the next city. And there might have been peaceful protesters there, but now they get the blame. The cops are on edge. All they know is things are burning and flipping. You got to understand the scenario. A lot of you never been in a war zone or any kind of chaotic situation. You only seen it on TV and the movies, and you think you know it all sitting from your couch. Just like the border issue. You just think it's women and children, but you don't know about the drug running, the damn human trafficking, sex trades, the people showing up at the border with kids that don't even belong to them. You're supposed to put them in a cell together. The kid's trying to get away from the man. He's using them to get over the border. 30% we found out. The DNA on the fly testings came up with new technology to test DNA within minutes. It was showing us these numbers. But y'all too ignorant to take the time because you're not getting that truth from the channels. You'll call somebody a conspiracy that digs into something for a month and comes out with all the facts around it. While you walked through a living room and got a 30-second clip from CNN, and then you regurgitate that as fact, you did your due diligence and research, you know nothing. You just got spoon-fed. Try something else. Getting real tired of it. My faith in the American people is dwindling. I know a majority of you here at the channel are great patriots and you get it. You really do. So I'm not really talking to you, but you can join in and just share this video. So like I said, we went to Virginia. We peacefully rallied. So I'm all for that. It wasn't actually an accidental discharge out of all them people with all them guns. Really smart Americans exercising and safety first and all the great things that come with responsibility. We didn't shoot the guns. We didn't create any more chaos because of the government infringement and injustice. You won't convince me otherwise. You never will. That I need to, like I said, I support rallies, debates, strikes, demonstrations, but peacefully. You won't convince me otherwise. I'm mad at the government, but I won't burn down your house, your home, your business to prove my point, and I don't encourage that. I choose to use my words, my voice, reason, logic. Like I said, Tim McVeigh said he blew up the Alpha P. Murrah building because of government was corrupt, it was evil, but everyone labeled him what he was, what they wanted you to do. You know, we need to get rid of white man with gun, they bad. That was the narrative. Burning buildings, blowing up buildings, using planes to do it, bombs to do it, or a damn match, it's all the same. You should be dealt with swiftly. If you want justice for the murders, which I do too, any unjust murder by any man of any color doing it to someone else, that's unjust to me. I don't play into anything else. I just look at it for that. That's what you should do, because otherwise you're playing a game. Can't want justice for the unjustified crazy murder that happened, that we're all mad about, but not for everything else that ensues. You're no better. It's okay to create chaos if it's for your point or benefit. Hell with you. Everyone didn't know why all the tanks and military were moving around 3 months ago getting in place. We did. We've been telling you for 3 damn years. Because they knew this was coming. All of a sudden, overnight, the pandemic's over. Nobody cares about social distancing in these cities while they're burning and stuff. I got a bigger story I'll tell here in a minute. I was looking at some of my talking points, but so you're going to have to learn the rules. Like I said, look up the difference of protesting, rallying, looting, rioting. You'll see a clear little difference. You could go there to protest the minute you strike a match and punch somebody in the face, punch out a window of a car, throw bricks at people. You're not a protester anymore. And that's the other thing the media keeps calling these people. The protesters burnt down a building. Well, the protester just morphed into a criminal or an arsonist or whatever you want. You know, you can take away the one label at that point. Nobody understands why the tanks and up-armored Humvees and everything else were moved strategically around the country. In the cities all over. Military operations, folks. To the rest that knew nothing and still don't, stop talking so much. Start listening a little more. God gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth. Go back a little bit. Insurrection Act 1807. Not too long after our, signing of our declaration, 25, 30 years later, they come up with the Insurrection Act of 1807. Abraham Lincoln used that. He was a Republican. He was building up his campaign on freeing the slaves. Not a lot of states in the Union like that, or certain states didn't. They were talking about seceding. We're going to leave the Union. Be our own. We don't, and then you had certain state local officials pitching things, and then you had certain people around in that state listening to their local governments and agreeing and wanting to be against the freeing of slaves. This Republican, Abraham Lincoln, was running his campaign on that. You had states talking about leaving. They don't like it. And they actually, some did. Virginia, they actually succeeded. And it got so chaotic. Doesn't this remind you of something right now? Possibly Trump's trying to free us from being slaves from the very same thing. Not just a portion of the people, but all of us, because we're all slaves if you really learn what happened in 1871. So Abraham Lincoln did the, suspended habeas corpus, did the Insurrection Act, basically had martial law, not around the whole country like people like to predict and say, oh, it's going to be bad like in the movies. No, certain pockets, certain areas, D.C., to take down, not civilians, not just your average man with the gun, but the people that were treasonous in the country, working with the foreigners over that we fought to get away from at that point, about 90 years later, when Abe was, I'm getting my dates, I'm just going to say 1873 or 1861, that he suspended. But the trick was, after he suspended it, people killed him. So he never got to unlift that. Now, he was really adamant. If the history I've dug into and the different things I've read led me to believe that he used it exactly what it was for, to take down some treasonous government officials around the country, to qualm what was happening. But then they killed him. And then they left that in play for about a period of 5-10 years secretly. There wasn't internet. There wasn't a lot of stuff in the papers. A lot of people didn't understand what was going on. But Abe Lincoln was real adamant about, I'm going to sign this now, but I'm going to unsign it really quickly. And they killed him. So then it stayed in play. And then these people wrote up their own constitution for DC, put ours on the dustbin. And when they released theirs, it was over ours. It trumped ours. They usurped our constitution. I don't have time to, I've done videos on that. It's a really complex bit of history that you need to understand, because moving forward from that date, everything is fruit, poison of the, fruit of the poisonous tree. I'm stuck right there. So everything else, people like to talk about these certain little, this is wrong, we need to get rid of it. Yeah, you're right. There's lots of things, the whole package. So a lot of people like to point on the eddies, the little things bundled in and then we've added things. You go to 1913, the Fed Reserve, and all that stuff. So there's a lot of issue here, folks. A lot of issues. Trump said 80% of the rioters in Minneapolis last night were out of state. And I know I already said that. They were there to hit African-American small businesses, homes, community of the good, hard-working Minneapolis people. It's a federal crime to cross states and incite violence. You're going to be labeled. All these things like the Patriot Act that came in after 9/11 to deem people terrorists, it affects people here in the United States. People were real worried. Oh my God, look at these rules. They can spy on you. Well, they're already doing it. Yeah, but this is even worse. They can come get you in the middle of the night if you're deemed a terrorist without due process. You don't get arrested and go to your local jail down the road and sit there and get to see the judge Monday morning. You're whisked off. When you when you get that knapsack taken off your head, you probably won't even be in the United States. You'll be in some black op underground prison system black site. And when you scream about a lawyer and your rights, they'll laugh at you. You can be put to death within 24 hours, done. Your family would be lucky to find out that ever even happened. They just think you're a missing person. If, by luck and chance, you figured out the government took them and you put in all the right paperwork, maybe after 20 years you get the half-assed bullshit story that's half redacted. Come on, folks. You've been worried about that, so have I, but Trump is possibly using this against these people, the ones that wrote those laws to try to get all of us. He's going to be using it against them. They have propagated you, used sedition, incited violence since Trump's gotten in, and they have piqued your interest to this point. Look where you're at. Look what you're doing. Yes, something very bad happened. Now, I'd be upset to find out now, again, people are like, well, what does that matter? I'm just saying that cop that put his knee on that man that could not breathe, oh my gosh, they knew each other possibly. Well, they worked somewhere and now it's coming out, but what does that matter? Maybe there's some person, I would hate to have the whole country in uproar over a Lifetime type scenario movie. Maybe it's over a woman, some drugs were being sold at this nightclub and all the security was in on it. Who knows? I'm not trying to make up or just add chaos. I'm just saying, think about that. There's facts out there, and if two people work together, the cop supposedly worked there for 17 damn years. The bar was open for 20. He was there almost the whole time. He probably was the head of security. He was a real cop. And then you had all the actual security people. Well, they worked inside. Well, don't security whips people out? Don't they stop fights inside the bar? Don't they stop the chaos, the drunk man, the fighting, and throw people out the door? The cop was outside. Wouldn't he have witnessed that? Over 17 years, seeing people get removed. He never helped. When they come to the door, he's there to grab. Here's another one. He was acting up. And then the cop's talking to him, maybe arresting him. No, not in 17 years. That never happened. What in the hell kind of bar is this? I've been to many in my life throughout the year. I don't go anymore, but as a young man in the service, yeah, I did my days. And I've seen things. I think we could all agree. A security team at some bar ain't going to be ran like the police station, but my gosh, did they never have meetings? You hire new security and you don't introduce them to any of your other security. There's just no reason to. I mean, that might create more chaos in your bar if you have security trying to work to get somebody out, but the other security sees it. He don't know what's going on, so he's going to start punching on the other security because he thinks he's just a patron, causing problems. Come on. Nobody's that stupid. The liberal governors, the mayors around the country, we've seen them do nothing. They're almost refusing now. They were all about arresting the man or the innocent woman on the beach without a mask, or at the store, or people refusing to do this, the barbershops, really quick. That's easy. But for this, they're just stepping back, letting it ensue almost. And it's not like, well, all the cops are corrupt and in on it. No, they're getting the order from somebody. Stand down. Stand down. The federal government will have to step in and do something. They're not going to let the world burn. That includes using unlimited military power and making many arrests, just like we've been saying. Domestic terrorism, enemy combatants crossing state lines and ensuing violence. That's what the labeling could be, because that's what the paperwork says. Learn, my fellow Americans. It is on you to take the time to dig in, to get the facts, to understand before you go do something and get labeled something. Don't play into the game. It's almost like a very well scripted movie, right? We've known it's coming. The news is going to keep pushing you to get up, go out there and burn your city. We don't recommend it, because the military has been placed all around the country for a reason, and they're just waiting on the word. And then they're going to move in, and they're going to stop all this nonsense. And if you're caught up in that, well, good luck. God bless. And we'll pray for you. We're praying for you anyway. My fellow Americans, help wake up thy neighbor. Help wake up thy family. Do everything you can. Use your logic. Use your reasoning. There's nothing more than we have come full circle with some of this stuff. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable the amount of Insurrection Act of 1807 determination that the various state and local authorities are not up to the task to responding to the growing unrest. And that's about damn right. All by design. Don't play into it. Do not play into it. Get the facts. Again, I'm Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. You guys have a great Sunday morning into your afternoon. And we'll see you back here. I'm going to go live this evening, most likely. Almost dead set on it. Time-wise, 5, 6. Probably no later than 7. So there's like a 3-hour window there. But just about an hour show, maybe. I'll see who can join. If not, I'll go alone. Again, we just need to get some good word out and keep educating the people. This is the biggest concern. So think about it. Even 6 months ago, people are like, why hasn't Trump made the arrest yet? Why haven't we done this? Well, you thought then it was at a peak. Is it at a peak now? Is it a little bit more clear to you? I encourage all of you to look into the storyline right around Abe Lincoln and what the states were doing and what Abe needed to do. We've heard nothing but from the conspiracy way out there channels that, martial law is coming for you and martial law is going to take... It might be coming for you if you're out there doing the stupid stuff. But it's really for the people that are above you, inciting it into you. Don't play into it. Be smart. Be safe. And pray.